Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing some very troubling news for the Life is Strange creators DONTNOD. As you guys do know, this is one of the companies slash pillars of this channel, and I know it's been kind of a rough patch for them for a while since the Life is Strange series had left them. We've had several pretty good titles. The overall sentiment from a majority of not the diehard fans is that there has been a downward spiral in the quality or slash the popularity of their games. As we do know, they released some pretty decent games since the Life is Strange series left. I mean, of course, we have Life is Strange 1 and 2, but after Life is Strange left, we've had, in my opinion, a couple of games like Tell Me Why, Banisher's Ghosts of New Eden, Lost Records, etc. But then we've had a lot of games that have just really not gone anywhere. In particular, their most recent release, Aphelion, to me was a major disappointment. I played it off stream, I platinumed it, and I wasn't happy with it. And you could see the care DONTNOD puts in their games, but it just to me wasn't anything significant. It wasn't anything that I was gonna leave with. And we do know current Life is Strange owner Deck9 Games has issues of their own, and we know they are in a very bad spot as well. Even with Reunion being a pretty good game, I don't know if the sales are going to be enough to keep them, you know, in the Life is Strange universe. They've lost so many employees, and now their next project looks to be a smaller VR title. So they're in itself having issues. Now DONTNOD, according to multiple reports, is in major financial trouble, and we're going to talk about what that means. Realistically, the next 6 months to a year, guys, we could be losing DONTNOD, and that is a very harsh, realistic possibility that that could happen. So we're going to talk about what you need to know about what's going on at DONTNOD, and will they survive? Because I'm sure a lot of you guys are curious as to how dire the situation is. I've already lost Telltale Games. I know exactly how this situation goes. When there's these reports and all this other stuff, they even had layoffs like a year or two ago. It's a downward spiral, and unless they can turn it around with something very quick, reality will set in. They may not make it out of the tunnel. If you guys do enjoy this video, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more content covering DONTNOD or any other games. We go for 1,000 likes on this video, greatly appreciate it. Make sure to 30% of people are subscribed and the subscribe button, notification bell, have it set to all, and join over the 103,000 people that have all notifications turned on by hitting the notification bell. Let's get straight into it. Auditors warn DONTNOD will run out of cash by November if it is unable to secure financing. The company has asked Tencent, its largest shareholder, for more money, but to no avail. It's gotten pretty dire, guys. I'm not gonna lie with you after reading that. French game developer DONTNOD could run out of money by November if it is unable to secure further financing. That is according to the company's auditor, who wrote in a report spotted by journalist Guthier Andreas that the chair of the board, Oscar Gilbert, has been trying to find more funding for several months now. As of April 13th, 2026, DONTNOD had around 8.8 million euros of cash. And so this journalist on Bluesky had posted this. Now he posted this in French, and if we translate, it says, "Rough waters ahead for DONTNOD. An audit report warns that the studio will completely run out of cash by November. Tencent has no interest in increasing its stake or funding a project, and the leadership plans are failing to reassure." And it links to this article that talks about it. There's all these meetings you can look up and go through. I'll put these in. These are just General Assembly. Again, I'm not going to go through all these. The company has asked Tencent, its main shareholder, for a short-term increase in capital, but the Chinese giant seemingly is not interested. The firm also does not want to contribute to the game project financing via co-production agreements. For the year ending December 2025, Tencent held over 41.9% of DONTNOD's stock and 33.5% of its voting rights. So they almost nearly own half of DONTNOD. Gilbert has been in discussions with some major industry players in the game space, but this is not ruled in any finance, and the company was hoping to have secured a response from a major partner that would help finance its current game projects by the end of May 2026. DONTNOD, best known for Life is Strange, but in recent years has released a new IP in Lost Records, Blue and Rage, and Aphelion. The company made an undisclosed number of staff reductions in 2025 following the firm restructuring around 3 genres: RPG, narrative adventure, and action adventure. Their latest project, which was more or less in development, was recently scrapped after their investor withdrew. Everything hinges on the possibility of signing with a publisher for a new project. And again, to make matters worse, DONTNOD's latest games have struggled. Lost Records Blue and Rage was a critical hit, but didn't reach its sales target. Same was said of its previous game, Banisher's Ghost of Newton. And again, it really comes down to sales. And I've seen a lot of people on TikTok and on YouTube post, well, what can I do? Well, I tell you guys, if you really love DONTNOD and you really want to see them continue, you got to support them on social media. You got to buy their games. If you don't want to buy it, that's your choice. But again, if you really do love their games, yes, it really comes down to buying their games. Financially, this is really the issue. It's finances. Why did Telltale go under? Yes, their games didn't reach a certain quality, but at the end of the day, they didn't sell. And if you don't make money, you don't survive in the game industry. And especially now in current day, you look at all the layoffs we're seeing across the board. It's not a good time to be in the game industry. It's very rough waters, to say the least. We had a response to this whole report, as it said, DONTNOD is pursuing several levers to secure financial future after Tencent decides against short-term investment. While Tencent has decided not to make additional investment in the studio in the short term, it continues to be a long-term shareholder of the company. Now, again, that was a report and everything, so DONTNOD had to respond. Aphelion and Lost Records Blue and Rage developer DONTNOD says the company is actively working on several levers to extend its cash runway and strengthen its financial position, following a recent report from French journalist Gauthier Gattaz Andreas that the company could be out of cash by the end of November. Andreas made these claims following a review of DONTNOD's financial disclosures and stated the shareholder Tencent is unwilling to raise capital or finance any projects. Now the studio is responding to Andreas' claims in a statement sent to game developer. A DONTNOD spokesperson confirmed Tencent's decision to not inject any more cash into the company and said the company is seeking financial support for Project P14 and is working to optimize its cost base. So it is confirmed, yes, Tencent has pulled out. It's not clickbait. It's not a lie. They did, and that is not good, to say the least. And it seems like for months, DONTNOD has tried to find somebody to no avail. Nobody is interested, it seems, to fund them. And if they cannot get that financial funding, it seems by November, they could be done. Toast, nada, bankrupt. These, alongside the maintenance of strict financial discipline, would be the aforementioned levers DONTNOD is pulling to shore up its finances. Tencent does remain a long-term shareholder of DONTNOD. They noted that its previous going concern statement was issued as a notice required by its reporting frameworks. And they said, as disclosed in our latest financial report, the going concern statement reflects an accounting requirement and standard disclosure for listed companies under applicable reporting frameworks. The spokesperson stated it is based on the information available at the reporting date and does not take into account the potential impact of the various financing and cash preservation initiatives currently being pursued by the company. They described the current environment for the game industry as very challenging, something many studios have echoed as they've laid off workers and shut down studios in the face of slowing sales. Before reiterating DONTNOD's funding goals, DONTNOD is focused on expanding its cash horizon through a combination of financing initiatives, disciplined cash management, and an optimized operating structure while continuing to adapt its cost base to market conditions. At this stage, we have no further comment to add beyond the information already disclosed in the company's latest financial report. Again, I look at this as, listen, yes, they seem like they have ideas about what they could do, but if they do not secure that financial partner, or it is known, then I would assume the worst. I would assume that they are on a pathway to destruction. And again, they may not be able to get that game that could save them. That Netflix project, as far as I know, is still in development, and I feel that is their saving grace. If they are somehow able to get that game out, I don't know if that is Project P14, and someone could maybe verify if you guys are following DONTNOD even more than me. I believe their Netflix game is still in development, and they need that game. If they have any chance, I think, of survival, that has got to be their saving grace. That's got to be the Hail Mary. And we can look through the Metacritic scores of their games since Life is Strange 2, which was the last Life is Strange title. And you could look at Tell Me Why, was a pretty good 78. Twin Mirror, which in my opinion, really big disappointment. I played it, was not very happy with that one. Then you had Gerda, which was solid, but again, a lot of people probably didn't play it. Harmony: The Fall of Reverie, I thought decent story, but again, the whole concept of the game, wasn't a fan of it. 71 or 75 overall. Jazant, really good, well received. 84. Banisher's Ghost of Newton, 78. Lost Records, 81, 84. Korea, 80. But then Aphelion, 65. You know, Aphelion, that's an interesting thing because I supposedly they cut out a lot of the game, or they kind of moved up the release date because they knew it was going to probably not reach the bar they wanted it to reach, and they wanted to get obviously more focus on their Netflix project. That has been confirmed. I've read articles on that. You've released multiple flops. You've had maybe a couple good games, but again, those good games, Lost Records, Banisher's Ghost of Eden, Jazant, etc., have not sold very well. Main shareholder Tencent is looking at all this. They're seeing success and they're like, good, but then they're seeing the sales numbers and it is not good. And if you look back to the financial statement for the 2024-2025 fiscal year, we can really go through that. Like, for example, Jazant and Banishers Ghost Eden, the sales were up, but both games underperformed by the studio's standards. And again, according to DONTNOD, future sales for Jazant and Banishers were not expected to generate sufficient revenues to cover for the full development costs, which essentially means both games have made a loss. And again, this was something I was going to make a video on a year ago, but I want to end with this. This is really, like I said, I think they're saving grace. I don't know if this is still in development, but as far as I know, it is. That DONTNOD had partnered with Netflix for a game adaptation of a major IP. And it's the development agreement between DONTNOD and Netflix does not reveal which IP the game will be made to, only describing the title as a new narrative experience that builds on the studio's recognized expertise in this genre. This project is currently in the works by DONTNOD's Montreal studio, a newer team consisting some of the designers behind the first Life is Strange, which released its first title, Lost Records Bloom Rage, earlier this year. And whatever this new game becomes, it will be published by Netflix. And again, could it be Stranger Things, Wednesday, Beef, interactive 4th season of Glow? We'll see. But again, if DONTNOD doesn't make it, we're never going to see this. We're not going to know what this is. And I feel if you want any saving grace, this is probably the project that's going to be able to save everything for DONTNOD. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, if you really love DONTNOD, spread the word out. Buy the games. I've already seen people on TikTok and social media, as I mentioned earlier, saying the same thing. I'm gonna say it right here. If you really want to see DONTNOD survive, spread the word out. Buy their games. Do what you got to do. I'll throw a list of their games down below in the description. You guys can check them all out. Go buy them. Spread the word out. Do what you got to do. But I hope I don't come back in November or towards the end of the year or even next year and we have to have a funeral, a send-off to DONTNOD, because I'm afraid it is going to that point and there's not much I feel they can do to save it. We'll just have to wait and see on that. Well, guys, we recently got some stuff on the Life is Strange show. It's starting filming the 29th. I might be making a full-on video once the filming starts. Let me know if you guys would like to see stuff with that. We got a first look at the actors for Chloe and Max, and I'm very excited. I haven't really talked about the show that much recently, but it seems now that stuff is starting to ramp up with that. I definitely want to talk about that in due time. So let me know if you want to hear more about that, maybe in a full-on video. Well, thank you all so much for watching. DONTNOD, if you guys are watching, I love you guys, and I hope you guys do survive this, but please, whatever your next game is, make sure it delivers, because if it doesn't, there may not be much saving out there. But I do love you guys, and I do hope you guys can figure out how to get out of this pickle that you're in. All right, guys, let's go over 1,000 likes again if you enjoy this. Peace and love, and have a great day, guys.